I could eat a page for hours. Please. Kiss me.
Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch scenes fade from every tube. Couch potato people look back and lament. Another day's useless energy spent. Those who drink beer get mighty pissed. You are listening to Cage's Kiss. Bear witness to the man's life and times. You can for wisdom, and not for shitty rhymes. I am a prog rocker, or Adrian.
My name is Linda, but this week you can call me the Cheddar Goblin. Nothing's better than cheddar. But it's right there. How could I not?
And
I knew you were going to
Fucking
do
love the
that.
Cheddar Goblin.
I'm Donnie, but this week I was forged by Nicolas Cage from a video game, and I'm the Jackhammer.
Jesus.
From the abyssal layer you were carved.
From the sludge which man spawned himself. The primordial goo.
Wait, are you quoting Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde together again?
Yeah.
The only way to fly. I'm doing a big no-no because I've been drinking.
What you're doing a no-no.
I wasn't even thinking about it. I just started eating some meat treats. Sorry, guys.
Meat treats for human beings or meat treats for the pets?
Meat treats for Linda's.
Well, meat
Okay,
treats
fair
are
enough.
human beings. That's what I've always called them.
Linda doesn't know it's not bacon.
All I know is the darker the whore, the brighter the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my mom said when she lit my birthday cake.
And our grandma used to always tell us when she gave us birthday kisses that hell is repetition.
First, she'll start by eating our eyes.
Yeah.
My mother once said of me, that lard ass couldn't find his nose in the mirror.
Yeah. And as the great Socrates said, or Socrates, I drank what?
Now you're getting to my
You're
territory,
just
real
dust
genius.
in the wind, dude.
So,
At
Adrian, what
Cage's
are we talking
Kiss,
about today?
It will always be 1983, and that's also true for
sure.
director Panos Cosmatos.
Yeah, conveniently enough, with cocaine.
Cocaine!
Never mix cocaine and acid, or you get Mandy.
Apparently, you can make it. So we're privileged this week to have landed on a Cage movie that also happens to be Panos Cosmatos' second feature.
Yeah.
This is from January 9th, 2018. This is Mandy.
I
fucking
got
loved it.
acid on my cocaine. You got
got
cocaine on my
ass.
acid.
Oh,
Taking off a piece of broken glass and then snorting an irresponsible amount of cocaine.
That was a day's worth of cocaine for him.
That was like a Tim Allen level cocaine right there.
oh.
This one cost the $6 million.
Yeah.
It earned the $1.4 million. Fuck you, audiences. And it actually had a domestic release, believe it or not. This is a very rare thing for us to see a Cage movie that actually went to a theater in the English-speaking world.
Yeah. It does happen.
And it actually opened at number 12, which is also pretty high for Cage movies during this phase. It opened behind The Nun, Crazy Rich Asians, and Moses. And it also ran in the Netherlands, Portugal, and Australia. No Middle Eastern release this time.
The fact
Which is
that it
fine.
ran behind the Nun pisses me off because the Nun was a really shitty, like diarrhea in your pants when you think you're gonna fart movie.
Well,
I
that
haven't
seems to
seen it
be
yet.
like what a lot of
Don't.
modern horror is, though. It's
Are you
like, let's
talking
take
about
something.
sharking?
The horror
Yeah.
movies that go to the theaters nowadays seem like the movies that 10 years ago would have wound up on the Lionsgate 8 Films to Die For, except maybe not good enough for that. You know?
No, it's like people watched The Cabin in the Woods and took it seriously. So that's how badly the movies are now. It's
I
like, hey
see.
guys, a bunch of people died in this house. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, maybe some more people will die in this house. It's got a death curse.
Speaking of, something that actually got me through this movie, because I've been rewatching all of Ash and the Evil Dead series,
Nice.
is every time something unexpected happens or there's a shock moment, whether it's in Mandy or any movie I watch now, I just start quoting the music they use, or I just go doo-da-doo. It really
fucking love that
enhances
show.
many things.
So speaking of things that are great and wonderful, I want to say a word about our director Panos Cosmatos. One of the most important things about him is that he is the son of George P. Cosmatos.
Yeah.
Cosmatos.
And Cosmatos, who did a little movie called Tombstone,
Yes.
something,
One of the
Cassandra
best movies.
Crossing, fucking Cobra,
Yeah.
Leviathan, Unknown
shit,
Origin
yeah.
with Peter Weller, and Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Oh, fuck me raw.
I fucking love George P. Cosmatos, and I love his son. Like, this talent went
Yes.
directly to him, even though their movies are utterly unalike.
Mission accomplished.
Because Panos only did one other movie. He did Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I saw years ago, I think on Hulu or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And that thing's fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
these movies are not for everybody. Some of you are going to be like, what the fuck is this ponderous shit? Because they're what Panos refers to as trance film. So there's long
Was that
shots,
War
there's long
Thunder, Donnie?
scenes.
That was the hand of God. There was actually like a very, for once, bright white flash. And
Well,
I wasn't
you're
sure if it
surrounded
was
by
the
tall
remains.
trees out there. Like, maybe...
It's been a
Are we
few
left
weeks since
behind?
we watched Mandy, but the acid is still kicking. So I'm just kind of living in the moment. But before you continue, it just reminds me when me and my sister were very little and we embarrassed the hell out of our cousins on the pier in Long Beach, California.
And this is
because
the
it
only time
started-
you ever did that.
It was like kind of dark and was drizzling, and me and Linda sang word for word from Rocky Horror, "There's a Light." Just, yeah, it was.
I
it was
do that.
magic.
I've done that on my security route because, like, at one point I turned a corner and I'm going across this area in the county where it's just fields, and there's a tree line in the distance, and there's a building that I've never been able to identify, but it's all lit up way the hell out there. I'm like, why is there a skyscraper out here? But I'm out there driving. There's a light in the
Watch out for the slut-eating tree.
darkest.
Those
That
people
road's
sure do take their
dangerous.
lives in their hands.
Panos actually has something that we actually all sort of share, in that his passion for filmmaking is based on being a little kid at mom and pop video stores in the 80s
Yes.
and seeing the boxes of the movies and certain ones he wasn't allowed to rent.
Although Donnie and I were allowed.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that's the
we
difference
were
between
really allowed.
Yeah, no, you guys are watching your Backdoor Sluts 9 or whatever, whereas I'm like, I'm in there like getting
Porn
my
version of
G-rated 60s
Cinderella.
movie, kind of like hold my breath past the horror section, look over and be like, I don't know what mutant is, but it looks so spooky. And Creep Show looks a spoopy, and this Evil Dead 2 thing looks a spoopy. They got the skeletons on them. I ain't watching those.
Well, when I first saw Mandy, my first thought was like that was very reminiscent of Heavy Metal, the movie.
Yeah.
And I guess I was right on the mark
Headbangers in
because he said, quote, it wasn't, he was talking to, when Panos Cosmatos was talking about Mandy, he said, quote, it was inspired by specifically all the stuff that I loved when I was a kid, like Fangoria, heavy metal magazine, heavy metal music, cover art for horror films that I wasn't allowed to watch as a kid. So, you'd look at these outlandish paintings on the cover and read the strange synopsis on the back, and your imagination would explode with possibility. And this film is an attempt to sort of create that.
No, I dig it. I dig that. I dig this so hard because it's kind of like, having watched this, it's kind of like he listened to our face-offs and shit and made a movie out of it.
Yes.
Because all the crazy shit that all those movies aren't is what this movie is.
Yes. Yeah. And he also said, quote, "To me, a story is kind of like the least interesting part about a film. It's how the story is told, not what the story itself is." And I feel like that's kind of agreeing with a lot of the stuff we've said too, that like you could have an amazing story, but if you tell it in a shitty way, then it doesn't matter how good your story is.
Like stories, like when you boil it down, plots, like those are interchangeable. It's like you need something else to really, sort of, but like unless you're able to like skillfully and introduce a wrinkle, or get some really good characters onto it, it's not going to matter what it is. Like, for example, the story of this film, nearly beat for beat. But no, like this movie, in a sense, it's very much like Side Hackers, aka Five the Hard Way, the Ross Hagen movie that was covered, the biker movie that was covered on Mystery Science Theater 3000 season 2. Because halfway through that one, the lead character Rommel, his girlfriend, gets killed by the evil biker JC, and then they're squaring off for the rest of the picture.
Oh,
yeah. Except there's nothing weird and fun in that one. It's like a terrible commercial for like a motorcycle sport that went away the next year.
Well, one of my film professors said once that, and I didn't really think about this before, but that there's so many different tellings of the same story, and if you think about it, like Three Amigos is really just Seven Samurai.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah. The Road Warrior is,
And like it all depends on how you tell the story, and I feel like this is a great example of that.
There's a really cool credit involved in this, by the way. Apart from Mr. Panos. Well, no, you might agree with me actually, because the other writer on this movie, Casper Kelly, created Too Many Cooks, which is one of the most wonderful things ever for Adult Swim, and also wrote for Squidbillies in one episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He actually wrote on the Universal Remonster episode.
Oh, yeah.
Friday.
He must have strange feet and thirst for blood.
Oh, God.
So, Donnie, I know you don't dig the trippy ones as much.
I do when they make sense. But honestly, the thing I really like about this, and I really lament our loss, is the composer, because he's done some really
like
cool shit in the past. Yeah,
it's dedicated to him.
But I don't know. It's like Linda. This is another one of those that Linda was like jizzing herself over about how amazing it is, and we have to see it. And I held off because when we started talking about doing this podcast, I'm like, I want this to be first time viewings for all this shit. So I just kept waiting.
I actually got this movie right around the time we started the podcast.
Yeah.
And I started to watch it, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to save it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see the whole thing until
curious about it. I mean, like a lot of the pictures I've seen of it make me go, oh, that looks like it's really, really cool. But it just, I didn't hate it. Good. But I don't like it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because to me, it's kind of like, Well,
there are qualities in here that are in common with like David Lynch. Who I know you're not wild about,
Oh yeah, and there's actually we were talking about this beforehand, but I said I was going to quote this guy's review, but the character is Professor Tosspot, who said, "I'm so conflicted by this film. I don't know if I liked it. I mean, the film has stuck in my mind, and I won't forget it. I won't forget it anytime soon. It's different, that's for sure, but it walks a fine line between art house pretentiousness and balls to the wall crazy schlock. It often pairs together as well as Colgate and orange juice. The film is pretty much an acid trip with your old friend Nicolas Cage, so you should enjoy the ride. And I'm kind of like, that pretty much fits it. Because if I look at this like a normal movie, there is very little in the way of story, which disturbs me for his earlier quote about that. And it just seems more like he just shoved into here all these cool visuals. And then you have what I really hate in movies, which is the whole mumblecore. It's you can't hear what people are saying, and it's their way of saying it doesn't fucking matter. It's what you're seeing that matters. Because look, oh my god!
Oh. See, I don't even notice that anymore because I watch everything with the captions.
It used to really, I've watched things with captions now, not because I'm old, but because I actually care to hear what the fuck I'm seeing.
Well, yeah.
But it's things like Public Enemy with Johnny Depp. It's like, I love gangster movies, but watching the movie was like you had to learn early audio editing because you had to keep your mouse clicked right on your volume meter because every time someone started talking, that's when old-fashioned music would start blaring out to bleed your ears.
You had a fucking volume meter. I had to see that piece of shit in the theater.
Oh, Jesus.
And that was such a fucking letdown because Michael Mann's previous movies were like beautiful HD movies with like these lovely night scenes and shit. And then he tries to do a period piece in it that doesn't fit at all. And I'm like, what the fuck, Michael Mann? You took a shit in my mouth.
Yeah. And it's like parts of this remind me of Hannibal, where it's like, okay, you're seeing a scene happen, you're seeing a murder, and then suddenly the person you're looking at is being replaced by somebody that's covered in black ink and has antlers on their head. And like, okay, that's a thing. And it just kind of goes from there. And every time Nick Cage is about to kill someone, it's another, let's have another fucking trip going on. To a point where if they showed none of this happened and he was just like spinning in circles on the ground, drooling because of the cocaine he did, the immense amount of cocaine he did, that would make sense.
Irresponsible.
But I don't know. There's so much in this that it's like, I really wanted to like it. But I don't hate it because it did have good. Yes,
okay,
and it's like
how'd you feel about that one?
That one I enjoyed.
Okay, so that one was more together for you.
Yeah, this one just seemed more like, hey, we got crazy ass Nick Cage, and we're gonna have him for like 70% of the movie in a Tigers jersey and his tidy whities. So it's Cage nuts all the way.
And I feel like the scene where he's screaming in the bathroom in his tidy whities is like,
dude, that's the thing though. Is like he's not even the star of that scene. The star of that scene is that bathroom. This is epic fucking late 70s bathroom with a fucking toilet lid cozy and shit, and it's got the lovely print tile wallpaper shit. Like it is like, oh my god, it's a 70s gasm. I was so,
but it's like that
so
scene
happy.
Is like what the whole thing was basis for.
And it's in wide angle there. It's like a Stanley Kubrick movie for a second.
But it's like you have so many. Go ahead.
I just feel like that scene is like a glimpse into our heads at any moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like this is the Cage you paid for. Is you have Cage screaming his balls off on a toilet. You have the Cage who's got barbed wire wrapped around his mouth and gritting his teeth on it. And then you have the coked out of his mind, smiling, wide-eyed Cage in a car covered in blood.
Breaking necks and yelling, motherfucker!
Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things, it's just like everything that's put into this, you can tell are homages from other horror films and other films that actually had story with them. But this guy just took things that to him looked really cool and just kind of converged them into one mass molten body.
They do look really fucking cool.
Yeah, but it's like I appreciated the chainsaw fight, even though that's like this would never work. Chainsaws are horrible real life weapons to use.
Apparently that was really hard to do too. Apparently that took them all night. But
did you
know
the
Cage was not originally
this, like seemed real to you? I mean, what part of the movie seemed like it cared about reality?
The part that
no, come on, that's not always the defense. Like there are movies that are thoroughly apart from reality and still don't achieve trippiness, like G2 and Mortal Conquest.
This movie was real up until after the point you see his girlfriend being burned upside down in a fucking sleeping bag. After that, everything else is surreal bullshit.
But it's working up to it, you notice?
Theory.
Yeah,
Because you got her drawings and you got the paperbacks that she's with the frickin' Boris Vallejo style cover art and shit, and you got the lovely chapter headers with this 83 paperback title style.
Yeah.
That looks like V.C. Andrews books and shit.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying, that like you have all these the artwork that she's creating, and those chapter headings and the books that she's reading. And you have at the end, if you wait till after the credits, you see some of her artwork, her comic drawings of Nicolas Cage and a tiger. And so it kind of makes me wonder if it's all just like supposed to be a story that she created
While she was burning.
Yeah. But even I just
if you look at it that way, that's like this is like the good version of Suspect Zero.
Yeah. But I mean, I still wouldn't put it past that, considering everything else, because again, what gets me about these films and why that quote from that review got me about it is because this is a movie you could literally see in a fucking film class where a teacher is talking super pretentiously about, look at this scene, what do you think was behind this and what they were trying to say? And you're like, no, it was just there because it looks fucking cool.
because it looks fucking rad.
Yeah, it's like you have a guy you have a cult leader who got laughed at because he showed his small dangus to this chick while she was high as balls listening to his shitty Carpenter's song that he made. And now he's coming out with the biggest chainsaw blade in the history of fucking chainsaws compared to Nick Cage's girthy little chainsaw.
Can I take one moment to point out that Panos Cosmatos originally offered Cage the cult leader role.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Jeremiah.
Which Cage didn't want to do. Cage wanted to be Red, the character he was cast with. But as Panos originally envisioned it, it's like, no, that guy's supposed to be young. You're old! Old! Hey,
Well,
young
Cage
man,
said
you
that he
can't say
connected with Red's character.
Right.
But do you guys think, I honestly doubt it, but do you guys think he would have done full frontal? Do you think we would have seen
No.
Cage Dangus?
Well, we didn't get him doing it as Johnny fucking Collins, so I guess he'll
That's
never
true.
do it, son of a bitch.
True,
Even
true.
Tom Hardy went full balls out, and that was in Branson.
Yeah.
But instead
Show
we got
us
Linus Roche.
your dick, Nicolas Cage.
I didn't actually realize this until the movie was over
Irresponsible.
because Linus Roche did such a good job playing the cult leader, but I didn't fucking
really
realize that he was that fuck on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even put it together. Like you look at his face, it's like, oh yeah, that's the same guy. But I'm like, why was he wasted on that piece of shit TV show when he could have been doing whacked out shit like this? And he was also in the first Growly Batman movie as Growly Batman's dad.
Yeah.
And apparently he was in The
know.
Forgotten and Find Me Guilty.
I mean, even his character, I know you said it was great. I just didn't see it as being that amazing. It's like modern video games where all of the mini bosses are a lot harder and seem more put together than him. And it's like I enjoyed his freak out, when they killed off fucking sister, whatever, and mother. And then he's begging Nick Cage saying he'll suck his dick, but other than that,
God is in this room. I'll blow you, man. I'll suck your fucking dick. And then the old woman too. Before it's like he says I'm a sensuous lover, and then he pulls her severed head at Linus Roche.
see, that's why that's actually this reminds me. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like part of the value here, because we've seen a fuckload of movies. We've seen a couple of hundred movies here at this goddamn dick pounding experience here, like you'll notice that as we go along, like from probably about the mid '90s, like shuffling into the present here. So about a 20-year slide here, you notice that in the movies that we've been doing, there has been less and less actual production.
Yeah.
You notice that, like, even the expensive ones, even some of the bigger studio ones, it's like there's no pre-production. There's nothing involved in shooting it at all. Like anything that they tried to do in post, and it looked like shit because they only tried to do it in post.
Oh yeah.
And then here we have a guy who's doing like these dissolves between faces and shit. He's doing some of it's actually shot on film. He's doing the bit where you got a light on the film to change the exposure. You know, like fucking Robert Altman did on The Long Goodbye. Like you're getting some actual cinematic technique.
I'm hoping that the next Cage movie just is like a Zoom recording from his toilet. I don't know.
Oh god damn it. Well, what I was thinking is like Panos did his first film in 2010. Cage had 8 years to do another movie with him, and he waited till 2018 to do it. What the fuck were you waiting for, you son of a bitch?
The moment.
The heat of the moment.
What actually, speaking of, because that leads right into what I was going to say earlier, is that what did this exact same story, but did it to me better because it gave it background to the story, was the South Park episode where everybody's huffing and getting high off of cat piss. And they all start getting transported to the heavy metal world.
And then they got the heavy metal soundtrack.
Yes, so it's like you have all these epic battles going on with alien races watching, and then it cuts to a grown man mumbling and bumping into shit with a little kid in a sandbox. It's like, that's what this movie felt like, where it's like you have intersected moments of reality and what the fuck they're seeing in their mind happening.
You don't need the reality though. Like movies are always subjective storytelling. You're always in somebody, you know. And so this is, what we have here is like a limited omniscient third basically. And so the impressions that come off of the act in the middle of the film, if that's the thing that changed everything, you know, or is it another story where like LSD is in fact mentally transitional and you can change universes if you taste shit that's hard.
Or you can move to be Galactus.
Yeah. Well, Galactus eats planets. I love the fact that they made that book that Mandy's reading at the beginning too. Like they got Julie Bell to do cover art for and shit. I'm like this watching this made me want to go and like read some 80s splatter punk.
No shit.
That reminds me, Casper Kelly was the writer for the Cheddar Goblin commercial.
Oh, I knew you'd get to that, so I didn't say anything.
And if you go to Shudder, if you watch it there, you can see the full commercial.
You can also hear the Cult Leader song on Bandcamp, I think.
Yeah. But do you know how he came up with that?
The Cheddar Goblin?
Yeah.
Was it me?
No. The director said he heard the phrase Cheddar Goblin and he just thought it was awesome, so he made a commercial for it in the film.
Cheddar Goblin!
But can we pay a moment of respect to the actual true motherfucking genius in this movie, Bill Duke?
Thank you! Yes! Okay, no, you're right.
I pretty just out of nowhere. It's like, you guys shoot this in my trailer? Okay.
I
Jesus
love that.
freaks! I didn't know they were in season. Green Berets gonna kick your ass. Bill Duke, by the way, that was a scene where two directors, Nicolas Cage, the director of one movie, and Bill Duke, the director of fucking 61 things.
Yeah.
Bill Duke fucking directed Hoodlum and Deep Cover and like a bunch of TV episodes and like a shitload of movies. Like Bill Duke's amazing. He's a fucking genius, and he was in Predator and Commando.
Definitely has the best monologue in this movie.
Yeah, I was like, I'll let you take that. Only if you put it to good use.
But also, you can see, because in the movie they cut down his monologue, but it's in the deleted scenes. If you watch it on Shudder,
you went and watched some
Blu-ray.
deleted scenes. My name's Linda, and I did research.
People aren't supposed to know we do research.
One of the reasons I got Shudder.
Linda, do you want to sing me a song about that?
Shill.
Damn it. Oh, come on, Shudder, hit us up. Like, pay us already. So
didn't this movie come and bring you a turkey and then it took it away?
Oh no, actually, it's Oh, Mandy, you came and you baked me a pizza, and I'll eat it today. Oh, Mandy.
I gave you a turkey, bitch. King of New York.
You
needs
came
more
and you
love.
fried without baking. Oh,
But in 2018, with an interview with The Guardian, apparently Nicolas Cage said that, well, you know, at this time, his marriage with Alice Kim had just ended
she
before
kicked
filming.
him to the curb. What the hell?
Yeah,
After
well, they've
she-
been together for 14 years.
And after he
so it
cast
wasn't-
her in Next.
So it definitely wasn't like a small thing. But he said, quote, "It was a shocker for me. I definitely didn't see it coming, and those feelings had to go somewhere, so they went into the performance." And
So his marriage to Alice Kim was the shirt that got ripped.
Oh.
I feel like that scene
Motherfucker!
with him, screaming in his tidy whities is like even more genuine.
Well,
because
he
of it.
goes under the sink and he gets out his vodka bottle, and we don't look under the sink, so we don't know if he's got a stack of Playboys under there. And then he screams and cries on the toilet. This is no disrespect
hasn't done that.
to Cage pouring out his soul on camera, but I really was mostly looking at the bathroom.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
your
sorry.
mind went there, and mine went to an old eFucked website video of this young guy banging a grandma, and then he leaves. He's like, "Your hallway has carpet. That's awesome." And then he turns like, "Your bathroom has carpeting? Oh my god, that's so awesome!"
I've literally ordered 70s bathroom books online just to see
Oh
the
my
cozies
God.
they put for everything. They put a cozy on the toilet tank. They put a
There
cozy
were
on the
cozies
toilet
for
lid.
everything.
Yeah, it's
Toilet
like-
paper
it's
too.
I guess you guys are just washing those cozies all the time because I just think of the little spritzes that come out of Mr. Toilet.
Shit
it looks
just
so
goes
cool.
everywhere.
It sets off my OCD.
We used to have like the shag toilet seat doily, and then we had the leather one. Remember that? Like the fake
a leather one. What the fuck? Oh,
ones
did you
that
ever have one of
leather
those
or
cush
vinyl.
leather toilet seats though? The seat itself is leather.
Yeah,
Yes,
the seat
yeah,
and
that.
covering. Yeah.
So you guys are basically the same generation as me. I mean, we're all within like a year of each other. So like
yeah.
growing up with your shit, did you ever have a house with a long green shag carpet?
No.
Oh, you were fucking deprived, man. Like every place I lived in the 80s had long green shag carpet.
I do remember cussing out kids of this generation when it was Linda, I think, was with us. We were looking for toilets for the Oregon house.
Looking at
And
some
I
T.S. Eliot.
pointed out that they had toilet seat lids that had LED lights on them and had like motion censored lights. So when you passed, the toilet lid would light up.
Okay, you can make
What?
fun of it all you want, but we bought one of the devices that go into the toilet bowl.
Motherfucker,
it's
you
so
ha-
fucking helpful. At
Wait a
night.
minute, wait a
Motherfucker,
minute. You bought a
the
fucking
goddamn
can to spy
wash
on
your
women
ass
peeing
instead of
in public
wipe it fucking
restrooms?
toilet.
Yeah, I got a bidet thing. It's
Linda's
awesome.
a predator.
Which makes sense,
Don't
you
knock it till you try
pretentious
it.
film house
If you're gonna
bitch.
have a sensor in the bathroom, it should turn all the lights on. A glowing toilet seat in a dark room is just scary.
No, you should have a thing that starts blaring off like radiation alerts when shit splatters on the walls.
Wait a
It's like
minute,
it's
should
something
play
just
a
locks
Fountains
your
of Wayne
door.
song?
Something locks your door because there's poo particles in the air. Think about it. They
Oh,
have had
poo
so many news
particles.
things where people take like people's mugs
Yeah.
from the fucking office break rooms and like, we found fecal matter on these mugs. I'm like, are you wiping your ass with a fucking mug? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, bacteria gets around. We can tolerate a certain amount, just not as much as hippie producers think.
They look at Adrian's mug. This mug is full of semen.
Yeah, there's jizz on this mug.
I call it creamer.
Well, I know
call
what
it Daddy's
cookbook
milk.
I'm getting you for Christmas.
Before we get too deep into the break room here, though, we should probably point out that the title character Mandy was played by Andrea Riseborough, and she's from
Yeah.
England. She was born in
Good for her.
1981. Yeah, and she was in Oblivion with the Com-Trues, and she was in Birdman and The Death of Stalin.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I want to say that she was like in a failed pilot or the failed pilot for Being Human too in the BBC.
Probably.
But
And you know that.
Also,
Wait. I thought Being Human went to series for the BBC for like 6 seasons.
oh, it did. It was an awesome show, but she was only in the pilot.
Womp, 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 womp.
She was also in a lot of stuff.
we should call her Jeffrey Hunter or something.
Yeah, she played Annie, the ghost, but
Annie, she
apparently,
pushed me inside.
I don't know if she just didn't test well or what, but they obviously didn't go with her.
No.
But also it had as brother Swan, Ned Dennehy.
Yeah.
Is he related to Brian?
I don't know.
Is
I
he
don't
gonna
believe so.
pin that Congressional Medal of Honor to my liver?
Well, you may know him from Good Omens, where he played Haster.
Might
the
not
Duke of
know
Hell.
anybody from Good Omens because I didn't
That's
watch it.
true.
You're missing out.
No, I don't really watch straight to streaming stuff.
That's
Well, it doesn't
sadly
watch
the
you either.
future now.
It has to have
Okay.
been released to VHS at some point when that was a thing, and then fizzled and disappeared, and then picked up again by Vinegar Syndrome or somebody else who hoards media, and then released to streaming. Possibly ripped directly
Well-
from the tape. That's what I'll watch.
Some of our listeners, like me, may know him as Lionel Brown from the Outlander series.
Listeners, you don't
um,
know that.
He's also
You can't
in,
be sure.
Peaky Blinders. I haven't seen that yet. Oh, he was also in Guns Akimbo. He was the bad guy.
Oh, I did watch the pilot of Peaky Blinders. Meh.
It has Cillian Murphy and his hot ass cheekbones.
I like to call that the cherry
Beautiful
on
man.
top.
But yeah, Guns Akimbo was awesome. Thanks
Yes,
to
it
Donnie
was.
for recommending it. That was
Thank
rad.
you, Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Daniel
you put the rad in
Radcliffe.
Radcliffe.
And once again, listeners, I'd like to recommend it's streaming right now on Amazon. Never Too Young to Die with John Stamos, George Lazenby, Gene Simmons, and Vanity Stargrove.
Or you could
And
watch
Guns
like
Akimbo streaming.
you could like stream Carpenter Brute music videos a whole entire day, and that'll equate to watching Mandy.
Well, yeah.
Tell
At
me
least-
I'm wrong.
At least you didn't say Coheed and Cambria.
Oh God.
We have standards around here.
Oh Jesus
Donnie,
Christ.
it was Side Hackers meets
Oh.
Hellraiser meets Altered States. I don't know what more you wanted.
Oh God! Don't even tell me. Remind me about the fucking Cenobite looking bitches they put in this.
Oh, I fucking love the bikers.
the lumber.
But no,
oh, the
but no,
bikers. Cenobites,
here's
yeah.
the thing though. There's a part before
God.
Mandy gets killed. Obviously, Mandy and Cage are sitting around watching the TV, and the movie they're watching is Night Beast by Don Dohler.
Yes.
No, that's a fucking mark of quality because this shit movie they're always watching a classic, and then you're going like, man, I could be watching that, but you're watching this like, oh, man, Night Beast, and it just shows the good parts, the part where there's the bitch in animated special effects when the Night Beast vaporizes people with his ray gun.
Yes.
Night Beast was basically the same plot as
Beast.
Galaxy Invader, except instead of a redneck with a hole in the middle of his shirt, it has like 70s sex scenes with a sheriff guy with an afro
Yeah.
and a tragic mustache. Night
Well,
Beast.
also, one of the writers was Aaron Stewart-Ahn.
Aaron
who
Sorkin, my
is-
God.
I honestly thought
He
she was
really
gonna say
did take
Andy.
mushrooms.
Yes.
That would be pretty. Like, I would like to see a partnership between Panos Cosmatos and Aaron Sorkin.
Panos Cosmatos.
Cosmatos.
It just sounds like a Harry
Panos
Potter curse.
Cosmatos.
You guys saw the Cassandra Crossing, right?
But Aaron Stewart-Ahn is a comic book writer as well, and he's currently writing for Thor, and he's got a webcomic as well, I believe. So
How can it be a comic book writer if he's not Scottish?
Good point. I guess, yeah.
Linda likes that comic book writer is all Scottish.
it is a point.
Yeah, Jim Morrison.
I'll
Yeah.
give him that.
Speaking of
Whether
points,
it's a good one or a valid one.
was there
No.
anything for your segment?
Oh, Linda, do you have a segment?
Yes.
This is news to me. What's that? What's that
Segment number
called?
32 on the way.
Did we decide that we needed a theme song for it?
No.
Dun 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 dun.
Clothes off. I want his clothes off. Yeah, actually, we get to see Linus Roach's dong.
Dong, dong, dong,
Hot
dong.
damn. I am so excited
And
about this,
Mandy
you
laughs
guys,
at
because
it.
like all the fucking time you see boobies, especially in like 80s movies and
Well, we
80s
got those
horror
too.
movies. Boobies, boobies, boobies. Sometimes you see ass, but it's the boobie to dick ratio.
Yeah,
is
especially in the
just
West. Yeah.
pathetically small.
Well, in the West, they won't even show bush on a woman. You know, like a woman only has a backside and a chest, and usually that's true of men in American movies too. So no, finding a dick in an English speaking movie, that's like finding the 4-leaf clover.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Have y'all seen the Pillow Book? You got some full frontal Ewan McGregor.
And then we're gonna go watch Henry and June, David Cronenberg's Crash,
and some Train Spotting.
Bad Lieutenant, the Keitel one.
Actually, there is a good reason there's no male nudity in films. It's distracting. There was a movie. It was a early release, and this is why they didn't initially bring it out here into the U.S. It was oh god,
what do you?
Frick was the movie?
Super Troopers.
Romper
Super Troopers had
Stomper.
dick.
It was
Romper
Romper
Stomper.
Stomper.
I saw Romper. Was there
And
dick in
it's
Romper
like-
Stomper? I totally forgot.
Yeah, there was full penetration, and there was a penis and balls. But it's one of those they had to cut out the full frontal. Because when women saw it, they were so distracted during the film's previewing that they couldn't stop talking about it.
Wait a
so
minute,
the director was
Donnie.
offended by it, and he cut it.
Well, fuck that guy. They had penis in the Sex and the City movie. They know women like
They
that.
did. Well, yeah, but to be also fair, fucking Bridesmaid, or no, was it Bridesmaid or was it Sex and the City 2
I'm
that
not
had a
gonna
woman
watch-
shitting herself?
I'm not going to watch either of those. Thanks for the warning.
I like Bridesmaids. So whatever.
Bridesmaids,
Melissa
aka
McCarthy sucks
Ghostbusters
cocks in hell.
1.5.
Don't talk about Sookie that way. Thank you very fucking
What's Sookie
much.
sucking now?
You shut your whore mouth
Sookie?
when you're talking about Sookie.
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 I'll always know
So
her
anyway.
as Rogue.
No, I'm not talking about that Sookie.
So we watched a
Talking
movie
Sookie.
based on a King Crimson
God.
album.
I heard that and I immediately thought, is this the offshoot band they did of King Diamond?
No, King Crimson, for their first album in 1969, they're credited sometimes as the first prog rock band.
Yeah.
And they actually had one of the guys from Emerson, Lake and Palmer initially. They did I Talk to the Wind and 20th Century Schizoid Man. But over the opening titles they got the song. But no, I when I saw that, when that came up, I'm like, holy shit! I knew the movie was like I was going to be in tune with it, because on one of my animations, it's not on the YouTube version, but it's animated to be in sync with the instrumental parts of the song in the Court of the Crimson King.
Oh.
Yeah.
I should also mention that one of the producers is Elijah Wood.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yay!
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Elijah
The trust is kept.
Wood.
That was his passion after Lord of the Rings. He wanted to start producing and making horror films and odd art house films.
Good for him. Good for him for
Yeah.
not sticking
Yeah.
with
He's had a
Peter
good
Jackson-esque expensive bullshit.
Yeah, he's had a good
I
record.
love Elijah Wood.
Yeah, no, no, he's no. If I ever had any
Elijah
doubts
Wood,
about
if you
him,
could.
if I ever had any doubts about the man, he's been fully redeemed in my eyes. And
Oh,
Grand
yeah.
Piano, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And what he said was about the script was, quote, what made the script so extraordinary when we read it was that it felt like a movie, at least initially, in two parts. One, a movie that was about a relationship between Red and Mandy, and that was as important as the sort of psychedelic, phantasmagoric revenge section of the film. And he goes on to say that I think what really made an impression on us reading that initial draft was the relationship between Mandy and Red and how that resonated throughout the course of the film.
Can we talk? Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
Can we talk about the bit where Red goes to see the chemist? Because this is
With the
after
hardcore
Red's
70s porn in the background.
yeah, this is because after Red takes on the bikers and snorts the cocaine and then tastes the LSD, after which everything's changed for him. He goes and sees the chemist. He had a vision of the chemist's place from taking the acid, and so he goes there and they have a conversation in which Cage never speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like in tune. It's like he knows everything he's gonna say. It's like, oh yeah, if Lizzie's calm, I know everything's cool. Oh, you're right, man. You're so right. Bye, Lizzie. They wronged you, man. They
Drink the
wronged
waters,
you.
Muad'Dib. This is
That's-
the water of changing.
I fucking love that scene. The way they got him lit, and you could see the film grain. You know, like fuck. That was gorgeous as fuck. Oh,
Well, I was going to say Elijah Wood also talked about how he was fortunate enough to work with Nicolas Cage in The Trust.
yeah.
And he said, quote, "There's something of an icon in Nicolas Cage. I distinctly remember having semi out-of-body experiences working opposite him where I was suddenly aware of the fact that the thing he just said or some physicality that he had done was only something that he was capable of doing. These are the moments of holy fuck, I'm working opposite Nicolas Cage."
Apparently, Nicolas Cage is made out of shrooms.
Just his dick.
Which we'll never get to see. The shroom is in our minds.
Do you want to see my chanterelles?
Speaking of which, I believe he has a story, a little anecdote, Nicolas Cage about shrooming with his cat.
Now that's
Oh,
interesting.
I think I saw that interview. Yeah.
Mittens, get in here. You gotta hear this. Hey, I would be tempted because she's learned how to pet. She like pets my face at night now.
Oh, the shoe's on the other foot now.
Yes.
It'll all be over soon.
That was your cat, Hugh, or Gene Hackman, who would bite your fucking eyelids while you slept.
Wow, I'm taking you to the vet. Wow.
I'll eat your eyes.
I had a cat, listeners. I had a cat that ended up being a feral cat. And I called him Gene Hackman.
Yay!
Because I knew that I should love him, but for some reason I just didn't.
I thought you called him Gene Hackman because he picked his feet in Poughkeepsie.
Gene Hackman was a motherfucker. Of a cat.
Yes, he was.
I love him
You
already.
gave him to an elderly couple that's like, oh, we've had him for a week and he's peed on everything, but he's okay.
That means he's gonna stay. Everything in there's
I'm
his.
moving away. Goodbye.
Team Lynn is blasting off again. Because I remember you and I went to deliver him to this elderly couple because he pissed on my leather jacket in parting.
What
He's
the
like, yeah,
hell?
fuck you too. Meow.
And
Something
some of that was
remember me
in
by.
my fucking car, and I
Yes.
I had the pee stink in my car.
I just
You
so
are-
wanted to meet you,
fucking
Superman.
Cat. Oh, goddamn cat. Anyway,
That damn cat. From Disney.
goddamn cat. But yeah. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the hell out of the movie.
Well, what about the cat and shrooms? There's no... you don't know the story?
Johnny,
Well,
what
I don't
stories
wanna-
do the reviewers know?
Yeah. What?
It was an attempted
Johnny.
transition.
But I want to hear the shroomy cats. Fine.
Yeah, he got stoned with his cat.
When I have more time to research that story, I'll
I know,
Yeah, well-
I know the story, but I couldn't tell you the whole thing either.
Let's just
Yeah,
get
that's my
Nicolas
thing.
Cage on to tell us, and we can.
I don't
all
wanna
do
script the
shroom
details.
We
tea.
were gonna get Edward Furlong on to tell us.
Well,
Yeah,
I know that it
well,
included his cat talking to him.
Well, they do that.
So-
Okay, we can get Edward Furlong to voice Nicolas Cage's telling us this. It'll be dictated
my
to
God,
us
can
through
we?
him.
Fuck you guys.
He's
I think
a
we need to make
medium.
this happen now.
But
Okay.
he's
Okay, so listeners,
real.
if you can go to patreon.com/Cage's Kiss and you can contribute to help us help the world and help Eddie Furlong by bringing him to the show and having him perform.
We'll have a segment
quote.
with him called "Getting Along with Furlong." But I guess the reviews for this, which I had to go simming
Yes.
a lot of them for,
Woo, Donnie reviews.
These were not short, and I'm very sorry about that.
Oh.
Okay, this is an absolute train wreck of a movie. This genre is right up my alley. I like weird movies that most people find revolting. This is something that was simply made to be looked at as an experiment in color, score, and imagery.
That's
We'll
like
call it
me.
esoteric.
You can't look at a score, man.
If you could only taste the colors I see.
Can you hold it in your hand? You can't own that.
On a surface-only level, Mandy is well done. Look any deeper, and it is as disappointing as it is beautiful. Instead of Silence of the Lambs, it's like a very, very poorly written Saw sequel. No backstory.
Oh,
We
this
are just
person's mean.
expected to like these characters for 30-ish minutes until something odd happens. Too slow, no delivery or follow-through, just a sad display of what potential and an interesting trailer affords you. I bought this movie. If you are going to watch it at all, I highly suggest renting it. You won't want to see it again.
Never
Yeah,
trust
that guy-
anybody who preferred Silence of the Lambs to Manhunter.
You know, there is some ground on that. It's kind of like Star Wars and the prequels. It depends which one you saw first that you'll connect the most with. Because I enjoyed that, but I saw Silence of the Lambs first. But I still liked Manhunter for what it is and its music.
I saw and understood Silence of the Lambs first, but over time I came to mature.
Yeah. This was a fumbling attempt to make a 1970s horror flick. The high points were horrid dialogue, bad acting, and a muddy plot. The overacting by others made Cage look like a restrained, classically trained Shakespearean thespian in comparison. Where did they go? Where did they get these actors? Flipping burgers in backwood Arkansas's diners?
Ouch.
I'm tossing this into a box of DVDs I donated to the local library's book sale. I hope they don't revoke my library card for doing so. Putting Mandy in a library book sale thing is like putting hardcore porn in.
No, but why is it that everybody, if there's something that's period and they don't understand it, they always assume it's the 70s? It's set in 83. There's very blatant references
Yeah,
to
it
the
says
Wraith
very
and
much
shit.
so. Yeah, it says very much so right at the start, in fact, that this is in the 80s.
Yeah, there's Ronald Reagan on the radio and shit. Like, do you not get things?
Now, this one is my favorite review just because of how it starts in its first sentence.
Oh boy.
I'm 56 years old. I've spent a lifetime weirdly addicted to scary movies. I love them.
No.
I read reviews comparing this to heavy metal, 70s, 80s type horror movies. The cult leader's full frontal nudity and his woman victim laughing at his manhood was the best part of this train wreck. I'm assuming the cartoon portions were hand-drawn by Nick Cage himself. He probably made this movie only because he needs to pay off all his quickie marriage divorce debts. I got to see Nick Cage at his best back in the day. But this, I couldn't even finish. So bad. And it's insulting to think this movie pays homage to any other past horror movie masterpieces. It takes a lot for me to post a bad review because someone probably cared about this project, but not enough. Sorry.
Not enough.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
person's
Not enough.
brain functions on a straight line. It's one-dimensional.
This man is 56 years old.
Yeah,
He told us.
there's an early red flag in there when they refer to them as scary movies.
Yes, I like the scary flicks.
This pays homage to some of those old movies like Scream 2.
Oh, Christ.
Are
We're
you
getting
really
there.
56? They huffed paint for 40 of those years.
It's like, what are you watching, kids? You're gonna watch the Scream movies? What's that, Grandpa? Oh, let me show you the Scream movies.
There was the Nev Campbell. Oh, she was a great beauty back in the silent era.
And there's Officer Dewey. Oh, you're gonna like him.
Oh, and here's the weather woman. She's from Friends. You ever see that show with the Friends? They'll be there for you.
These two people dated in real life. It's true.
And that them dar Skeet Ulrich. Remember his face?
Quit
You'll never
laughing at
see
his
him again.
name. He deserves respect. He was Soul Assassin.
Apparently, Skeet Ulrich is now on Riverdale. I found that out from Jane.
Riverdale's still going.
Because we covered the Craft.
Oh,
God. Speaking of the 90s.
yeah.
Which has a connection to another movie, but I'll share that later.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anywho.
Well, Ferrugia Balk's in it, so there's a connection to Return to Oz, which is awesome.
Oh
yeah,
God.
we're gonna cover the fuck out of that too.
Awesome.
Fucking love Fairuza Balk.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, and that movie. But yeah, so is that all the reviews we got for us, Tony?
Yes, it is. But are you also, by guilt of association, going to be reviewing the sci-fi movie they did of Wizard of Oz?
Oh my
fuck
God!
The Tin Man.
Wait, Tin Man, where they keep
that
referring to her
Alan
as
Cumming,
DG, and they refer to Oz as the OZ.
Yes.
It's like,
And
are you
have
trying
the
to be
flying monkeys
1991
coming out of a
cool?
woman's cleavage?
That was what? Why would the hell with that thing? It's like Sci-Fi Channel. What did I do to you? Why did you vomit on my face?
They lost
Alan Cumming is
sliders.
the Tin Man or something?
Yeah, it was
Or
called Tin Man.
Something
Scarecrow?
like that. Yeah.
And it had that guy from 88 Minutes in Timeline as Tin Man. It wasn't actually made of tin or robot or anything.
No.
And it had Zoe Deschanel, didn't it?
Yeah.
As DG.
Yeah, no, it was about as faithful an adaptation of L. Frank Baum's Wizard of Oz as that shitty Flash Gordon TV show from around that time was of Alex Raymond Flash Gordon. It's like, are there Hawkmen? Well, we can't afford that. They'll just kind of have some capes and like fly on them. It's like, you can't do
I
that.
prefer Flesh Gordon.
Wait, are you dissing the Mike Hodges 1980 Flash Gordon with Sam Jones? Are you dissing that in my
No,
presence?
I'm just saying.
He'll save every one of
Flesh
us.
Gordon.
Dun, dun, dun. He's for every one of us.
Die.
Mike's for every one of us.
This is a place I like to hang out. It's called the Death Tower.
Speaking of
Babies.
shitty movies,
Anywho,
Speaking
Are
of
we ready
shitty
for
movies and
another
their sequels,
segment. Oh,
All right,
I
God.
guess if we
kids.
have to.
It's time for sequel.
Sequel.
Return.
Return.
More.
Much.
Less.
Harder.
Hardest.
Shall I start?
Shall you?
It's 1984, and Red Miller is raising some eyebrows, both for being named Red and for the fact that he can still talk to dead Mandy sometimes. Church-going types thinks he's in league with the demons from Saturday morning cartoons, and soon the forces of Nancy Reagan and Tipper Gore are in hot pursuit of our hero as he runs afoul of satanic panic. Key McFarlane is closing in, and Red must return to the chemist for the recipe that can transition him to greater understanding and the power of head-splody. Soundtrack by Judas Priest, Frank Zappa, and John Denver. Satanic Panic!
Oh.
Catch it.
My.
Because it's the 80s.
Donnie Donwald?
This is a prequel,
Ooh.
and I don't have to do any work because this movie does all the work you need. And I don't know if Linda's going to get this. Adrian might be the only one beside myself that will
I
get
hope you
this.
don't have the same as I do.
You're not
There
gonna
is
have the
no
same
chance
thing.
in hell.
Okay.
This was made in 1981. The only thing I'm going to change from its title is the title. We're going to call it Rise of the Cheddar Goblin, but everything else stays the same. And this movie is going to be about how Red met Mandy. And we're going to take the movie Andy Kaufman made called Heartbeeps, and we're going to just put that in as you need to see this before Mandy. If none of you have ever heard of or seen Heartbeeps, I insist you watch the trailer.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's real. Just know that. It's real and it went
It's
to theaters.
real.
My favorite Andy Kaufman movie was God Told Me To.
I think you're mixing Andy Sidaris with Andy Kaufman.
No, man. Malibu Express all the way.
Oh, God. Linda, if you haven't seen it, you really do need to see this movie.
Only
All right,
in the
I'll
80s.
have to check it out.
So what's your sequel, Linda?
Well, I don't have a lot of details about it, But okay, so after killing Jeremiah, Cage finds the Lochnar.
Oh god.
And he turns into a hot guy with his dork hanging out. And so we get to see
big.
his schlong. And he goes through a bunch of adventures just keeping on to the Lochnar while everybody else wants it and is fighting for it.
Wow, 2 chicks in one day. This will never happen to me back on Earth.
Snow time. But this one also has Julie Strain.
Oh.
Don't let these shakes go on. It's time we had a break from it. I wish Heavy Metal 2000 hadn't been so shit.
I know.
Melting Pot was bitchin'. Heavy Metal 2000 sucked.
It's
It's
all
my
right.
Lochnar.
It has its moments.
Yeah, the ones that
Look
borrowed
over
from
my
the first movie. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I really, really liked the skull that the guy wears a hat. It gave me the idea of making my own.
Yeah.
So, anywho, back on the movie, you guys feel ready to face it off?
Face it off.
This is
Face it off.
usually Face Off is my opportunity to fix it. And in this one, I don't so much feel the need to. I think the only thing I do is make it into a Ross Hagen movie directed by Gus Triconis in like 1968.
Oh.
You know, because it goes right back to the biker film origins. You know, or you turn it into another The Wraith. You know, put in
Okay.
Charlie Sheen. You know, with Dennis Quaid,
Yeah.
Randy
I can
Quaid,
see that. The Wraith works.
and the soundtrack was badass.
True.
Hold on, blue eyes.
Speaking
Hold
of
on.
soundtracks,
Yeah.
I went full 80s with this one.
All right.
So Randy Miller is Don Johnson. Mandy Boom is Rachel T. Cotten. Jeremiah Sand is Bill Mosley. Brother Swan is Michael Ironside.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Mother
right.
Marlene is Bernadette Peters.
Ah!
The chemist is Peter Weller.
Oh, shit.
And
Yeah.
Carruthers is Sid Haig. Directed by Andy Sidaris with Tangerine Dream doing the soundtrack.
You are a madman.
I'm already there.
I personally would have gone with Jan Hammer, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that we've totally already done it before, but it like I'm with Adrian
The
on this.
Muppets?
Like there's you don't have to fix it unless you're showing telling Cage to be brave and just do it, man. Show us your
Dong it.
show us your
Your
dangus.
whole anthem here is that one dong was a good start, but there need to be more dongs.
I think this is what Donnie was talking about, really, that like it's not too distracting. It just leaves us like being like, okay, we've had our taste of freedom, now we want more. More dongs.
Just watch J. Peeker Simone's Pieces.
Tell us your
I think-
cast,
oh,
and
I-
then I
I
will
have.
tell you the most amazing scene. You did?
I have seen Pieces, yes.
No,
Oh,
I'm saying
sweet.
tell us your
Tell us your cast,
and I will
though.
tell you an amazing scene you can put in your movie.
Oh, okay. So if it's not going to be played all by dongs, just like Thumbtanic, but if
Oh,
it's gonna
God
be
damn
dongs,
it.
it's going to be dongs. I know we've done it before, but I'm having as Red Miss Piggy,
Aha.
as Mandy Kermit, and as Jeremiah I have Statler and Waldorf.
Oh, dear God.
Hilo the Reaper coming near.
But yeah, Miss Piggy, I'd like to see her killing a bunch of
Penis?
dudes and
Oh.
snorting some coke.
You ripped my shirt.
Exactly.
I'm your god now.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, suck your dick.
So,
I'll blow you, man. I'll suck your fucking dick.
so we've all seen the new Judge Dredd movie, right?
I didn't
Uh-huh.
actually see it. No.
Okay, have you, Linda?
Yep.
I say
Okay,
don't
so you
mess
know
with
the-
perfection. Rob Schneider.
You honestly should see it. It's got some visuals in it that are very
good.
Very beautiful.
And it's got a Butcher from The Boys, right?
Yes. But okay, so imagine the very slow motion actions from that. And you have a very naked Jeremiah and Randy going at each other. And right as the camera zooms in, as their dicks are slapping at each other, you just suddenly transition, like you zoom in kind of like Borat style, right into the penis, which then zooms out and opens up on like a black and white, say, Errol Flynn type swordplay fight. So you have people with rapiers fighting, and then you're realizing it's all based on the fact that two penises are slapping back and forth against each other as these two guys are just duking it out.
Speaking of exposed penises in movies, you're hitting on one of the things I loved so much about the movie Observe and Report.
Oh my God.
Slow motion flasher running in the mall.
Oh,
remember that?
Oh, Lord.
I have not seen it.
You didn't see Observe and Report? What?
No.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Were you all able to find any sort of cagey wisdom?
Well, there's a couple of things.
Such as?
Don't ever doubt yourself, because he said everything is yours. So everything belongs to you. Well, the darker the whore, the brighter the flame.
Well, that's
yeah.
Yeah, that lard ass couldn't find his nose in a mirror.
Yeah.
Donwald?
I strongly recommend, there's no wisdom, but I strongly recommend, if you want to leave a lasting impression, that yes, you drop some acid in your friend's tea before they watch the movie. And then you, in the other room, eat about 2 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese. And then you come out and you vomit the mac and cheese on your friends.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it still trippy if you drop acid while watching a trippy movie, or does that just turn it into like Awakenings or something? You know, like
it might be.
Do they cancel each other out?
In an insane world.
I've never got stoned while watching a movie, so I don't know.
Like the Beatles said, all it did was get them hungry.
Yeah, it was hungry.
Hungry
for rock and roll.
Knock knock.
Come in.
Who's there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada who?
Eric Estrada from Chips.
Oh!
Wow.
And from C-Lab 2021.
Oh, that's right.
And PM Entertainment's The Last Riders.
You are the last riders.
Other than that, it just reinforced some of my beliefs already, like that I need a tiger. Also that we need a cult. I mean, listeners, yeah.
Well,
if you ever feel you were done wrong, go out back and forge yourself an axe. There you go.
You can do that right quick. I mean, you got all the stuff. I mean, who doesn't? You know.
You remember
it's like pound cake. Anybody
I had
can do
that
it.
was like made out of the
wait, the one made out of the golf club.
Yeah,
the one where that thing kept getting stuck under the dash of your car, and I kept trying to undo it with the axe, but I kept bending the axe.
Yeah.
We both had some really fun shit like that, because I still have at Mom's house the shanks that I made in my welding class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I still have the boffer that Eric 2 made me, which I mostly use to kill spiders now.
As you should.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, I don't want to forget to mention that I liked the way that the title card came up around the 1 hour 15 minute.
Yeah, the movie was more than half done when the title showed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Needless to say, it's very atypical.
Yeah.
And the producers made Nicolas Cage watch Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh.
And according to Elijah Wood, it gave Cage said that it gave him nightmares.
I was hoping you say gave him the willies.
I fucking love that movie.
Gave him the willies, yes.
It made my penis retract in its flesh sweater.
The little guy's turtle and it won't come out.
Oh man.
Oh, but yeah, and Linus Roach said that, quote, he was talking about Cosmatos. He said he'd done this extraordinary, if you'd like, a dissertation on the male ego and what it's like when it runs riot and when it takes a supreme power position and the sheer destructive nature of that force. And I realized quite soon, as I got deeper into the story that Panos had built, what was on one level a very entertaining film and slightly extraordinary and bizarre, but it was also very honest and truthful and real to a lot of the dynamics that exist in human nature, and particularly in the male ego and this drive for power, this lust, if you like, to be the one and only. And I thought he'd created the almost archetypal journey.
Levite Osmanos!
And then after that, Linus Roach said, "I know it's pretty, but I didn't take it out for air."
This dick ain't gonna suck itself.
Panos Cosmatos!
Cosmatos!
This is why I was brought.
So, I guess this is the time where I say, please listen, follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts.
No,
especially,
this is the part where I say,
Chaser.
Cold-hearted orb that rules the night, removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion.
And check out our stuff on YouTube. Also, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Cage's Kiss. If you haven't seen it, our video for on YouTube for Humanity Bureau, around the 7-minute, 20-second mark, Adrian blessed us with a really awesome animation, so you should check that out. Remember,
It's
you can
only
find
30
Cage's Kiss on
seconds, but there's
Facebook.
some of my blood in it.
Oh.
Literally. Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com, or you can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. I would like to thank Ben Robinson for his awesome review on Podchaser.
Ben Robinson.
Cuckoo.
I would like to thank our new Patreon patron saint, our good friend, the
Beelzebub?
awesome, the one, the only Vern.
I believe he prefers the Vern.
The Vern.
Wait, he did Bittersweet Symphony?
The Vern. So, do y'all feel like we could do a KG thank you to our friend the Vern?
Thank you, Vern!
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it!
Stay cool, Star Child.
Thank you for giving us our money! We really do appreciate it. We love you. You're awesome. And yeah, as Donnie says, stay golden. Golden child. You can check out my other show, Bed Knobs and Broomflicks. We just covered The Craft, and we're about to cover another one of the Throne of Glass books. And
How many of those books are there?
7, I think.
Too many.
I don't know. And then there's the novellas, but we're on the 5th one, 4th, 5th. Oh Jesus!
Good gravy.
The 4th one. So yeah, I think I'm reading the 5th one, and we're covering the 4th one.
I'm reading the 70th Perry Mason book, but I ain't trying to read those in order.
Jeez Louise.
It's the first one I've read.
Also, Donnie and I are going to be in a little pod show, one-off, whatever, an audio drama called Coyote's Bluff. And you can hear me in Dispatches of Disassociation as Lila. And you can hear me in the upcoming Golden Girls podcast with Kristen in When Girls Were Golden. Adrian, what you got going on?
I'm Adrian. I'm on interwebs usually as Leo the Fox, LEOTHEFOX on the DeviantArt and on the Patreon. The DeviantArt has the many artworks. The Patreon has the super secret artworks, which you can see for money. And I have a YouTube under AA Smith. I'm probably going to put that Humanity Bureau trailer I made up on there too.
Nice.
Yeah, where it'll be on there with the full audio.
Yay. Donnie?
I am Unreal Goals on the Twitter and Instagram. I'm also going to be posting, actually, hopefully this weekend when I get the music finished,
Nudes?
my Wisdom in the Bottle.
Wisdom in the bottle! Yeah!
And I'm also the boy who blew over on Pornhub. Just because. Why not? Go listen to the episode again. You'll figure out why.
Dulcie!
And I'm also using our Patreon money from all of you, including the Vern, to go down to Colombia and learning to make...
I'm using the Patreon money to go to the dentist.
Yeah, I actually can't afford that. I'm just going to use my Patreon money to go down to Burger King, so yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna go to Taco Bell and get a nice little bag of
Taco
There
tacos.
were
Bell.
just never
Taco
enough
Bell.
fries in those little fry boxes. But you know what?
I want some chips and queso.
Them Jack in the Box chicken nuggets were epic.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing from us next week when we cover Looking
Your
Glass.
mom.
What the
Oh.
shit is that? Wait. Looking Glass? The sailors say, Brandy, you're a fine girl, fine girl. What a good wife you would be. For my life, my love, and my lady.
Shout out to
is the
Brandy
sea-
from Book of Lies.
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, God.
Yeah, anyway, so it includes Robin Tunney, who was the lead in The Craft, and Jane and I on Bedknobs
Oh,
and Broomsticks
wait,
just
that
covered
lady
it.
from Empire Records?
Yeah, she's also at Empire Records, and we decided that she was like on Valium or something for The Craft.
Possibly.
And I likened her to that generation's, the 90s Kristen Stewart. So I'm really
Wow,
hoping
I'm not
that
so
she
fond of
proves
The
me
Craft,
wrong
but
in
that's so
Looking Glass.
mean.
I'm sorry, but rewatch The Craft, and you will agree.
I'm not going to rewatch The Craft because my ex Timmy would make me watch it because he thought he was a witch too, you know.
Nobody should watch The Craft anymore. We're done with that part of our life.
Well, yeah,
It's okay.
it's not.
And Frisabelle, come on, and Rachel
Well,
True.
if you're gonna watch,
You
something
only
from the
disagree
90s,
because you and your friends watch that when you're like into Wiccan shit. Like, this will be us. It's so cool. But
Yeah,
to
that's
defend
exactly
you-
what we said. Too.
Yes,
You know,
to defend you,
you
it's like
know,
every
when they
girl at
tried
that
to
age thought the
do
same goddamn thing.
the divination scene in the cave, the tide kept coming in every time they did it because the spell's real.
If it's fair, me and
Anyway.
Adrian were part of the Brotherhood of the Traveling Pants.
That's right. Those pants fit all of us. It was miraculous.
Yeah.
They were like
Really
size
sucked
50.
though
Probably
after
something to do with that.
Adrian sharded in them, and then everybody else had to wear them.
What?
It
We
actually
were a
just
biker
really
gang. That's
kind of
just how you
pooed on
break
our
it in.
weekend when we found out a Kandarian demon took over them.
Anyway, you could find Looking Glass streaming for free
Oh.
on Stars, DirecTV, or Amazon Prime with a subscription to Stars.
Eh.
Subscription
So yay
to
for
fucking
not having to pay for a
SARS.
movie. Anyway.
Levite
Like to apologize for
Cosmatos.
Yes.
Cage, 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 peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please.